Welcome to the Chateau de Cheverny in the Loire Valley in France, a chateau that Philip and I have been wanting to visit for a very, very long time. It is very rare in France because it's been in the same family for almost 600 years. It is a 17th century jewel, and much of the decoration in it dates from the 1620s and 1630s, and we're particularly excited to see that.
Obviously, we're about to restore the Grand Salon at Lalande, and our painted ceiling is from the 1620s, so I'm hoping to get a lot of inspiration here for the Grand Salon. Philip!
It's very beautiful.
It is more beautiful than it looks on the photos that I've seen.
I think maybe also because it's been in the same family.
Yes.
It hasn't been massively changed. You know?
Yeah.
Same furniture.
So
hopefully.
pure.
So I'm very excited.
Now, some of you may find this chateau a little bit familiar, and that's because it's the chateau that was the inspiration behind the Tintin comics. I have a thing about buildings with little busts on them. I don't think there's any higher civilization point than a building with a bust. And this one's got so many busts over the entire facade.
We've got zero.
We have a zero bust residence.
Very uncivilized.
Oh my goodness, we've literally just walked in and immediately it's more inspirational than I could possibly have hoped for. It's amazing seeing this more 16th century style panelling in place with the ceiling as well. All of the wooden panels here are scenes from the life of Don Quixote, which was so popular in the 17th century. And that's not wallpaper, that's a leather wall covering. You can just see it buckling a little. They must have moved over the years. This is the sort of fireplace, they're called cheminée monumentale in France, that Lalande would have had. Maybe not as ornate, as we're much deeper in the countryside than here, but it would have been huge like this, and we can actually see the space that it would have taken up in front of the beams, as you can see here. But the fireplace itself is gone, unfortunately. In fact, this isn't their original fireplace. This is a neo-Renaissance version. This is the enfilade on the ground floor. It's one of the things that I most love in French chateaux, that you just walk from one room to another, glimpsing vistas beyond. It just makes you want to keep walking through the chateau. As you can see, this ceiling is totally different from the ceilings that we've seen so far. The ceilings we've seen so far are like the ones we found at Lalande. This is an Italian-style coffered ceiling. Even though this isn't the type of beamed ceiling we have, these are those soft blues and golds that we're thinking of for the Grand Salon, with little highlights of red in the furniture.
It works really well.
I love it. It's beautiful.
And that's a little bit like the tapestry on the sofa that I bought when it's in the marquee now.
Yes, it looks good in the marquee though. I think it should stay where it's found its spot. But yes, it's very similar tapestry. Tapestries of bouquets of flowers would definitely work really well with our ceiling.
Absolutely.
We've just spotted a very exciting person. We've spotted La Grande Mademoiselle, the cousin of Louis XIV, the richest heiress in France. She owned a lot of property, amongst it the Chateau de Lalande. There's a little link with home. If only Lalande still had its monumental fireplaces. What a shame. What's so heartbreaking is that the Chateau de Lalande would have looked like this inside, probably nowhere near as grand, but this sort of painted decoration, and to think of everything that's been lost, and the work ahead of us to bring it back to its former splendour, is both daunting and, I have to admit, very, very exciting as well. This was one of the first chateaux in France to open to the public back in 1922. And the most extraordinary thing is it's open every day. There are only 3 days that it's been closed since then. It closed once for the visit of the Queen Mother, another time for the death of the previous Marquis, and the third time was for the wedding of the current Marquis in 1994. Then we go through to this stunningly beautiful pink hall. This colour is incredible. And it just perfectly frames the silk wall covering beyond. And for everyone watching in the US, this is an original document signed by George Washington. Because one of the ancestors of the current owner fought with Lafayette in the American War of Independence. As a little aside, the paintings above the doors in this room are painted by Hubert Robert. He was one of the first painters to start the fashion of painting classical ruins. He painted for Marie Antoinette as well. But I think the luckiest moment of his entire life, and the unluckiest for someone else, is that he escaped the guillotine when somebody else was guillotined in his place just because the poor man had the same name. It was a total accident. From here, we're walking through to the library. This is a very different style. As you can see, there's a lot of empire furniture in here. Oh, it's beautiful. All of these rooms are a delight.
Lovely.
Legos made the entire Chateau of Cheverny with the Tintin figures, of course.
Even though that is...
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, that's shaggy.
In fact, I don't think this is Tintin at all, is it?
I think it's meant to be, because look, here you've got Johnson & Johnson, or Thompson & Thompson, what are they called in English?
I don't know. Honestly, I'm going to have to come clean and admit I didn't read Tintin as a child. Sorry, Philip. Sorry.
In Dutch it's called Kuifje.
This is gorgeous. It's a beautiful light corridor with the bedrooms leading off it. We're in the private apartments now, and this is known as the birth chamber. And it's where mothers would present their newborn babies. What an extraordinary crib. You can imagine darling little newborns in there.
Have the little Napoleonic D's on it as well.
Oh, it's darling.
That's a Lego Renaissance coffer.
You're joking. No way.
Yeah.
So the chest comes from this chateau, the original chest.
And they copied it.
And Lego have copied it.
Isn't that amazing?
It's a beautiful room. The silk wall hangings, just sumptuous. But I think my favourite thing is tucked just round the corner, and it's all those porcelain parrots on the branch that I love. I wonder what's down here. Oh,
Little red boudoir.
of course it is. Little red boudoir. Who doesn't need one of those in their
I think it's
lives?
still a red boudoir.
It doesn't look very red.
It was used as a small sitting room for the ladies, in contrast to the men's smoking room.
Beautiful.
Love the lie-back chairs.
I like the tiny little secretaire for writing a love letter. This has got to be my favourite wall covering so far. Huge garlands in the nursery. And these are very early rocking horses, the first style of rocking horses from the time of Napoleon III.
And look again at all the Lego.
Yeah.
But also the chair.
They must have had a huge collaboration with Lego, but I'm distracted by the tiny little hunting jacket.
Harris tweed.
If you had a son, Philip, that's how he'd be dressed.
Look, I've got my Harris tweed with me.
Never far from your Harris tweed.
Even the clock is Lego.
No, it's not.
Yeah, the right one. There's a copy of that.
This is incredible. I love this place.
And I love the fire screen. I mean, if I could take one thing back to Lalande, it'd be the fire screen.
Well, so far, the two things we've loved are things with parrots on them. There's a bit of a theme going on. Okay, let's carry on. This room is the bridal chamber. And it's pretty exciting because here you can see a wedding dress from 1994 that was actually worn by the Marquise de Vibray. I'm guessing that's her in the photo just there, looking extremely beautiful. There's an extraordinary Louis XVI dressing table here. But I don't think it's as gorgeous as the bridesmaid and page boy outfits behind it.
And it's like a bath.
Oh yes, a little copper bath, just round the corner. Oh, this is the family dining room.
Beautiful, isn't it?
It's drawing Philip not just for its lovely china and the beauty of its panelling, what lovely colours, but boom, for its copper. The jelly moulds. Can you get our jelly moulds shining that brightly?
Try.
If anyone can do it, it's you, darling.
And this tableware was specifically made for the family at Cheverny. Autumn at Cheverny.
That's why it must have all the hunting dogs on it. Season of the hunt. It's very pretty. Philip, we should have our own dinner service, you know that.
Oh, absolutely.
This is the petit salon, and the thing that I love most in this room is this chair. The fabric on it is a silk with raised embroidered flowers on it. Absolutely exquisite. And it matches the curtains as well as all of the other little sofas in the room. This is the largest room in the chateau, and interestingly, just as at Lalande, we are on the first floor. And here it has its original paintings on the panels and on the ceiling.
The tulips.
You're joking. No.
Isn't that beautiful?
Oh my goodness. And this would be the same period as our ceiling, just when tulips were at the height of their fashion. This is amazing. This ceiling hasn't even been restored yet. It's in extraordinary condition. And this panelling gives us an idea of the sort of panelling that would have been in our Grand Salon. So you can see that the one we're putting back is very different in style. But we're also planning to pick out the pale blue from the ceiling, as they've done here, in the little edging of the panels. In the 19th century, people stopped using these big salons. They tended to make the rooms much smaller. Those that survived because of the romantic notion of a bygone age, when they were turned into arms rooms, just as has happened here. But that makes Cheverny very lucky, because the fact that they wanted to recreate effectively a fake Renaissance arms room means that they kept all of the original proportions of their room.
That table is inspired by it, do you see?
No, that's Lego as well. Okay, that's the best piece of Lego so far.
And that chair looks an awful lot like the chair.
The one behind it is.
That's amazing.
Lego chair and table.
It's not usable, is it? I mean, the table might be, but the chair's not.
I don't know. I reckon it could be quite strong, actually, done properly.
Maybe.
And now for the pièce de résistance, the king's bedroom. This is obviously kept extremely dark because of the sheer quality of the fabrics in here, the tapestries and the bed hangings. This is beyond spectacular. You know, I was saying so many times that Louis XIV isn't really my favourite look for a chateau. I love the 18th century. But I might be starting to change my mind, darling. This is spectacular. And the ceiling. I'm in awe.
It's beautiful.
Again, the colours that are picked out the most, along with the brown, are the blues and reds. I think that's something that we really need to bear in mind for the Grand Salon. This is a very special bed that we're looking at. It was actually slept in by Henri IV, not in this iteration of the chateau, because he wouldn't have been alive then. Before, when he came to the previous chateau, this is the bed that was there, and it is covered in Persian embroidery, done in the 16th century. It is absolutely covered in flowers. And you can imagine back then what it would have been like lying in that bed when it was new and bright. The flowers would have been glowing above you. I'm just speechless at this fabric. And when we're talking about the chateau that Henri IV would have come to, it is this one. I'm finding that one very romantic too, with all of its towers. And if you're struggling to imagine what that would look like in 3D, don't worry, Lego's got you. Here it is. They've done the whole ancient Chateau of Cheverny, exactly what it would have been like before, in Lego. The moat was full of water back then. This is so cool. This is making me want an entire Lego model of Lalande. And here we have the chapel, which I'm actually filming on wide angle because it's very small, actually. This was largely decorated in the 19th century, and I very much like the wall treatment. The stone patterning, but then with little reliefs on.
Oh, really cool.
On our way back to the car, we suddenly realised they still have the hunting dogs here. And these are the dogs that we saw on the dinner service. They are truly beautiful dogs.
Do you think we need more dogs at the house?
No, Philip. I do not think we need a massive outdoor kennel. whilst the dogs do live in those kennels, they're not in that kennel all the time. They have a 2,000 square metre field behind it that they're free to run around into. And I think that really those dogs live for the hunt. Cheverny is still an active hunting chateau, and in the side of each of the dogs you can see that they've just shaved in their hair the V for Vibre, the name of the marquis. So this is very old school. We're looking into a past world here, and this would be for a mounted hunt. The dogs would run alongside the horses. They have over 100 hounds here.
And if you're wondering where they could go hunting in a chateau that is quite close to its local village, in fact, the forest to the side of the chateau stretches further than you could possibly imagine. What a beautiful chateau surrounded by beautiful land and a great, great inspiration. I hope that we can bring a tiny bit of the beauty that we've seen here today back home to the Chateau de Lalande. And it's from there that I'll next be chatting to you in tomorrow's video.